All right. According to YouTube, we. Oh, let me mute that. There we go. All right, and we should be live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video live stream, whatever you want to call it. I am just hanging out. Figured if anybody wanted to chat for a little bit or something like that, that is super, super cool. What is up, Ethan? Welcome to the stream. Not really doing anything in particular this evening, just kind of hanging out. Like, I'm not doing any kind of like live study or anything like that. I'm just mainly hanging out, seeing if anybody wanted to chat or anything. I'm trying to... Let's see, if I tweeted it, and there we go, post it on Facebook. I'm just going to mess around a little bit here. See if anybody trickles in here in just a little bit. What's up, Daydreamer444? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to see... I know Aaron from Fingtam just created a website, and I'm trying to find it. So I was going to look at it, but I don't see it anywhere on his Twitter. You go to his YouTube channel and see if that turns up anything. Help me make free language learning material. See if he has a link. Here we go. To participate in the free project. For more information, click here. No. Anyway, let's see. What do you think about the prospect of learning Chinese through Link? It has the opinion, and I already have a subscription. Would you advise against it, though? I can't say that I would advise against it. I think it just depends on what you're looking for. I know that Link, just like with Japanese, struggles a little bit with the way that their dictionary picks up Chinese words. I know a lot of Chinese words are two characters, like basically like two syllables, I guess you would say. And I know that for whatever reason, Link struggles with that from time to time. And so you'll see, like sometimes they'll mash three characters together that aren't supposed to be, or I don't know, there's some weird stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend against it. You just got to be careful. Are you using italki to improve your speaking? Your progress is amazing. Yes, I am. I need to book another lesson. This week was a little bit slower, but yeah, it's I am using that to try and help do like to help improve my speaking. I am doing that. Here we go. Let's see. What is Aaron's source? Okay. Okay, so his website looks like it's stories and stuff just translated. Okay, cool. That's what I was just checking out. I'll give that a little bit more of a shot. So I'll give it a little bit more of a shot a little bit later on. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. I wanted to do a live stream, start trying to do some of these. I know people probably are wondering where some of the guests are. I reached out to the co-creator of Memrise, who said he would be down, and I emailed him, and I still haven't heard back, so I may do another email there. And I'm going to work on trying to get a couple more people. I've just been so busy studying, man. Like I spend so much time doing my Japanese. It's really really hard for me to come off of that. It's really really weird. Let me see. Did I make this public? Yeah, it's public. All right. But anyway, like I said, not doing any kind of live study or anything of that nature today. Just hanging out. Wanted to chat with you all, see what was going on, and see if anybody wanted to ask anything, do anything, hang out, whatever. Looks like the stream, man, from where I haven't streamed in so long, it's hard to get an audience in here anymore. I definitely need to get back on that is for sure, because I miss talking with everybody. I miss just hanging out and chatting. Let's see. But yeah, so hopefully I can get a little bit better with some of my languages and stuff, and hopefully hopefully I can get better with Japanese. What am I talking about? Hopefully I can get better with my Japanese. I'm struggling a little bit with it. So I have the Tango N4 deck, and have you returned to using gamification apps? Not really. I use drops 5 minutes a day. I literally do one lesson on drops a day just to get a little bit of additional vocabulary in front of me, and then I use Lingodeer maybe for 1 or 2 lessons, but that's more so for grammar. Like, that's not to learn like vocabulary or anything. Like, I use that because I'm still waiting on my Tango N4 book to get here. It's supposed to be here. Let me look on my Amazon. I think it's supposed to be here Saturday. Let me see. Amazon. But yeah, so I use those. I'll occasionally pop into Duolingo just to see, because the one thing I will say, I don't like the way that Duolingo is in regards to the way it teaches from time to time, but I do like it helps me, like, it puts kanji in situations that I haven't seen perhaps in my like the Tango deck or something, and therefore I can, like, it trains me how to read them out of context outside of the one card. Have you returned to... Okay, answered that. So, does Tango only involve kanji? Well, if you... So, I can give you an example. Like, okay, for example, this sentence right here, Okane o kayashite kudasai. Please lend me some money. So, what just happened? Okay, let me try this again. There we go. Okay, so this card right here, Okane o kashite kudasai. So you can, what is the flashing? I guess it's like ricocheting off of that. Okay, so anyway, when you click to see the answer, it'll show you the furigana for it. So it trains you on how to read this. Please lend me some money. So I know that one. Move on. So it'll do that. So, but yeah, it teaches you how to read the kanji. That's for sure. I've never used Italki since it's a paid app, right? Wishing there's a free version. No, Italki used to be free. It's not that you have to pay to use it, but there used to be. So I don't want to be negative, man, but I'm really close to making a video and calling out Italki on their bullcrap, because the site was designed to get you in touch with native speakers. That's what the site was literally made for, right? It was a language exchange. I went on there today because I was like, I haven't looked at the language exchange in a long time. They've removed that feature. You can only search for teachers now. And I know why. It's because the more that you pay, the more money they get from you. Like, they get a percentage of it. But that's a super shady operation, man. Like, they remove being able to look for people, like, unless they're a teacher, and it's because they want you to pay for, like, it's pretty shady. What happened to Native Shark? Yeah, so I fell off of Native Shark because I couldn't keep paying for it there for a brief minute. I'm getting back onto Native Shark and going through some of my, like, I have like 450 some flashcards. Like, I took it down a little bit yesterday. Hold on, I'll log on and tell you how many flashcards I have. Native Shark. But once I get through, my, once I get back through those flashcards so I can start going through lessons again, I'm going to stream me studying with Native Shark. Right now I have 420 flashcards that I need to do. So, I just got to get through those. The Tango N4 deck looks so long to get through. It's significantly deeper than N5. Yeah, it's, this one is 957 cards, which I'm confused about because the N4 book teaches you 1,500 vocabulary words, so I'm guessing some stuff is just there, like in multiple sentences. I don't really know, but you know, it's pretty weird. I'm anxious to get through it to see kind of what happens. I'm also anxious to see how much better I can use that deck, because right now I did the first 2 cards, and there's grammar there that I just do not understand. I tried Googling it, and there's some like roundabout stuff that's just kind of confusing to me, so I'm waiting. That book should be here Saturday. That's right, that's what I was doing. I was getting on Amazon to see when that book is going to be here. Let me go Amazon orders. That book, yeah, my N4 book will be here Saturday. That way I can start going through that, and it should be a much easier thing for me to get through. There's an app called Lingby where you can talk to natives for free. See, yeah, I need to try that, because so far I've had, and honestly, what brought me to why I went to italki to look is because with Hello Talk and Tandem, on Hello Talk I've had like 2 people ever answer me. I've never had anybody answer me on Tandem. I used to have people answer me on italki like a while back, but I just figured I would try it, and then I went there and I was like, oh, only way you can get any kind of results is if you pay them money, of course. We removed language exchange, but here's a giant section of Benny Lewis's language hacking, because we get a percentage of that. Super shady. Really lost a lot of respect for italki. On what app? I don't remember what I was talking about when you asked that. I'm sorry. I know you're a friend of Matt vs. Japan, who is kind of the king of pitch accent. Will you ever prioritize pitch accent or nah? Will I ever prioritize it? As of right now, not necessarily. It's just not something, people learn languages for different reasons. I'm not overly concerned about it. I know that very well could come back to bite me. I'm fully aware of that. But right now, I just don't really care. This piece of beard hair is bothering me because it's curled up. I need to cut that or something. But I don't know if I ever will prioritize it. I want to sound decent, but in terms of my long-term goals of any language, I have no interest in sounding like a native. I want to sound good, and I would ideally not like to sound like super, super foreign, but at the same time, it's just not really something I care about right now. It might be one of those things where by the time I do care about it, it's too late, and hopefully that's not the case, but it's just not something I want to prioritize right now. What do you think about the Magaku browser extension? Will you try it? Yeah, I'm all for trying anything that can help with language acquisition. I actually don't know what the web browser does. Let me see. That's on Lucas's Patreon, I guess. Patreon.com/ what is he, Migaku? Alright, let's see here. What tier do you have to join in order to get, let's see, $1. Alright, at the $1 tier, you gain access to the leech roll of the official Migaku Discord. As a leech, you'll be able to talk in the leech. I don't care about Discord. At the end of every month, I will personally invite you to be a member of this tier to become king of the leeches. Okay. Alright. Doesn't look like that has anything. $5 tier, you were given early access to all. I guess because realistically, it's probably open, right? It's probably just like how MIA was, where You could pay to have early access, but you didn't have to, maybe. I don't know. At the $5 tier, you're given early access to all Migaku software projects before they see public release. You also receive the dev team role. Okay, that's not really what I care about here. Does he have a website where you can download this stuff? What is Migaku? Who am I? Thanks to all supporters. Yeah, I would definitely try it. Let's just leave it at that. I would definitely try it. I'm not opposed to trying it. I mean, he obviously knows what he's talking about, so there would be no issue for me there. Huh. Is there a web? Does he have a website? Migaku. A bunch of grub hubs. Let me see. Migaku web web extension. Migaku Japanese Anki web. That's for Anki. Yeah, not sure. So, right now though, for browser extensions, I use Yomi-chan, which works really, really well. I mean, I don't know what the Migaku one does, but Yomi-chan allows me I can highlight words, and there's a button you can click and import them directly into your Anki deck, which is pretty cool. So, but I'm sure with his, tech ability or whatever you want to call it, I'm sure it's probably a little bit better. Yeah, I can't find anything about that. 12 people, man. It is a deserted wasteland in here in comparison to what it used to be. That's what happens when you break a schedule. I think he has a feature that does like link highlighting, but on any website. That sounds cool. Like, I guess you can highlight, because the problem I have with Yomi-chan is sometimes it doesn't it'll only recognize up to a certain point. Like, it would be cool to be able to highlight all the way. Like, it'd be really cool to highlight and then like have, like, for example, in your comment, if I could put he has a as one like section, because on Yomi-chan it would have he and then has and then a. So that would be pretty cool. I would definitely be down to check that out. Let's see. Hey, Seabolt, this is Zach. Oh, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Just hanging out, chatting today. Not doing anything crazy. Not doing any kind of like live study or anything. So just sitting here chatting a little bit, hanging out. Trying to figure out what my plan is. I'm trying to, so I started, I've fasted for a long time. I usually do like a certain, hello, welcome. Like I usually do I usually have an eating window of like 3 to 8 or something like that. And I've done some 24-hour fasts before. And I'm trying to do a 24-hour one right now, which will end tomorrow at like 7:30. And then I'd like to do like a 36-hour fast next week. I'm trying to work out. That has nothing to do with languages. I'm just chatting here while people are still filtering in. How's your fasting yoga? Yeah. So yeah, the fasting is pretty well. I wanted to have dinner 8 by 6 o'clock today, but I ran into some stuff I had to do, so I didn't get to eat. I finished about 7:05. And like I said, I'm gonna do 24 hours today just to do it. It generally doesn't bother me, because fasting is one of those things that, like, as you do it, like, so like when I did fasting like last year, I know I just said like 100 times, and I apologize for that, but when I did fasting last year, I was doing 24, 25. Like, basically, I would do about 1 meal a day. Like, I would do that whole thing. I dropped a bunch of weight on that really quickly, too. And then I just didn't keep up with it because I always find excuses to go back. But, like, yeah, like, I was doing, like, 24 hours. And the closer I would get to that 24 hours, I would honestly almost, like... It would almost make me, like, more energized. It was really, really cool. Like, yeah. Question. What? I can't stop thinking about it now. When I'm talking, I'm purposefully making effort to try to think about what I'm saying and not say like now. Question. What is your advice when you're feeling frustrated in a language? Just stop doing it for a day. I know that sounds really counter, like, counter to what I usually say and stuff, but realistically, if you're feeling frustrated, just take a day or so off. Don't worry about it too much, because if you're forcing yourself to go through it, right, it can definitely lead to some bad... You don't want to create a negative atmosphere around the language. That's what I have. Now, with Japanese, luckily, there's not been a single day that I haven't studied it. I've never felt frustrated enough to where I haven't studied it. But I also understand being in languages before that have made me feel that way. And I would just say take a day off and then get back into it and see if you can get back into it. Because you don't want to take too much time off, because then you're going to lose interest and just never come back. But at the same time, if you keep doing something... if you keep going through something you hate, you're going to hate it anyway, so definitely take some time off. There's a video, an introduction to Migako on Yoga's channel. Okay, cool. I'll watch that after the stream, actually. I know. Yeah, it's super hard. It's super hard to think about what you're saying and not say that. People need a break to breathe and reevaluate goals. Hi, man. Hey, what's up? Oh, you know what I did not do you? Send me a message on Instagram, because I forgot to... pay you for doing like a portrait or like a art thing. Not like an art thing, an art thing. I'm trying to cut down on saying like here. I say like all the time. I don't know if anybody watches Big Brother or not, but they had a big thing recently where Cody, who's on the show, they had a thing in like, oh god, not in like, and over the course of like, oh my god, dude, it's so hard not. I never realized how bad I did that. Over the course of about, like, oh my god. Over the course of about around 5 minutes, he said it like, he said the word like 30 times. That's hilarious. That's so funny. When I was younger, I remember that was you would associate that with people like, I'm saying like in this regards, in the way it should be used, like, as in comparing people from, oh my gosh, what is that Alicia Silverstone movie? What is the name of that movie? Clueless. Jesus. No problem, no rush. I'm excited to make it and say like a ton. Oh man, it's so hard not to say. Like is probably the most common bad English habit. I think so. Well, what's funny is it is, because it's just a filler word, right? But I'm actually worse with the word like than I am But if you watch the video I just uploaded yesterday, where I was speaking Japanese, I said like I said. I'm gonna try not to acknowledge it anymore. It's super impossible. But I say more in a target language just because I don't really know what I'm doing. I know in Japanese the filler word a lot of times they use is like eto. So when they're thinking this eto, like the way that we say but it's I said it a lot in that video. I give you credit for trying to cut back on overusing like. It's a hard habit to break, but it'll make you sound a lot more elegant. I'm not overly concerned about sounding elegant. It's just it's a mental thing now, where now that I've noticed it, I can't help but notice how much I freaking say that word. And it's incredibly weird. But filler words are, man, that's so hard to... Hey, long time no see. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. We were just hanging out. I was trying to see if my buddy, I don't know. There's a lot of new people here, so I don't know if everybody will remember my buddy Kyle, because he was on here before my channel he was on here about 1,300 subscribers ago, but he had tweeted about going to, he said 5 minutes of scrolling through the Esperanto forums on Duolingo was enough to remind me why I don't occupy myself with the language much anymore. That's all it took. I love the language, but sometimes just a couple of bad seeds ruin the whole garden. And I had made a comment back to him, and I said I did the same recently. I love it, but I'm almost embarrassed to be associated with it sometimes. And I was trying to see if he ever responded, but he still hasn't. It's really, really weird. In Chinese, it would be something good. What is that first character? Nice pitch black water you're drinking? Yeah, it goes perfect with my ketogenic diet and my fasting. Black water. One of the criticisms Matt received when he uploaded himself speaking Japanese is he overused the word sono, which is also used as a filler word. It happens to us all, especially in target language. Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about I honestly, I'm really happy. Naga. Okay. Naga. Oh wait, that's not, no, Naga is, okay, that's something else. Naga is because Na is that, right? I don't know. Anyway, I honestly thought that it would be a little, I know that's one, I love the language community, and 99.9% of the people are awesome. It's just the 0.1% sometimes is the loudest. And I know that there's this weird thing in the language community where everybody wants you to use the language, right? They're like, oh, you better use that because we don't believe anything that you're doing. But then you do, and then they criticize you. That's the one negative thing of the language community. And I knew uploading that video, I was like, this might get bad. But you know what? I've it's not that I owe anybody anything, but I was like, I'm gonna show people a little bit. And because, it wasn't like a scripted out video. I just popped my camera on and did it. But anyway, the comments were all so incredibly encouraging that it just made me really, really happy. It made me so happy to see the love from everybody. It was really, really cool. Isn't that bad? I use it in Spanish too because they do it very similar. Sometimes I try to use for example, because I use like to indicate that idea often. Yeah, what is it? Somebody called, it might have even been Dash in here that called me. Somebody called me out on saying, what was it, in regards to, or in, let's see, in terms of, yeah, I would say, but it's hard. It was hard for me not to say it because what I was speaking of was in the terms of what I was saying. Evil Mr. Beast, hello. What is going on? Welcome to the stream. The Chinese filler word sounds kind of like the... Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, I should have made a video on it, yeah. N-A-G-E. Yeah, that's what somebody was saying. Naga. Yeah, I know. Because na means that, right? And then ga is like counter. I know it's a counter. Because I think you can say naga narim or something like that. I could be wrong. How many languages do you speak? At this point in my life, I would consider myself monolingual. I've studied a bunch of stuff. I passed a B2 Spanish exam, but a B1 Spanish exam, but I'm not comfortable enough to say that I speak it. So I would say I would just say just English right now, unfortunately. But we're working on changing that. That university professor that got in trouble for using it. Yeah. Okay. I think Mark from Language Come Up made a video about that too, maybe. Or his might have been something different, but I do remember that. Same with E or U in Korean. Oh, okay. It's like this or something. Yeah. Like fits everywhere. You can say it before anything and the longer you stretch it, the more time you got to think about what you're about to say next. It is weird to think about because so when we're speaking a target language, or at least just in my instance of the video uploaded yesterday of trying to speak Japanese, I actually just mentioned Esperanto just a minute ago. I'll get to that in just a minute actually. But so like when I was speaking Japanese, I would say a lot, and it's because I'm trying to get that thought to come to me, right? And our brains aren't even overly efficient, like, at our own language. I mean, we have to think about so much and use these filler words in order to get to where we can say stuff. It's really hard to... the more that I think about it, the more that it's harder for me to... I'm having to slow down my speech to really think about if I'm saying a filler word in order to get my point across without using a filler word and without having to think about what I'm saying. Right there, I normally would have said like and then went into another sentence because I was making a point. But yeah, it's really hard. Aren't you bilingual because you learned Esperanto? So I learned Esperanto. I did. And I went to an Esperanto convention. It was completely in Esperanto. I got around perfectly fine with no English at all. But that was that was 2 years ago. I have not even looked at Esperanto since the day that I left. And I would say it would be very hard for me to speak Esperanto right now because of a 2-year absence of it. So I'm not sure that I would say that I speak Esperanto. Like I could probably, if somebody typed something, I could probably maybe make heads or tails of it depending on the topic, but I don't know if I would say that I speak it anymore. Have you talked to your teacher yet about recording lessons? I have not. I need to do that. It's easy to think and talk at the same time, but when you get a little stuck, people usually stretch the ending of their last word. I can see that. I see what you're saying. It's definitely really, really weird. How about Tokipona? I would like to study Tokipona for a little bit just to see what it's about. I'm shocked Duolingo doesn't jump on that because they love to add on constructed languages over real languages. Granted, I know that's more about people willing to put the time to make the course in, but I used A in Spanish a lot at the beginning. Spanish, Also, it does make your speech sound more natural if your target language, if you use it correctly. Don't worry about it until your level is higher. Interesting. Well, yeah, because, I mean, the average person speaks like that, right? The average person, the average person uses filler words. I would say it would almost have to, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to try to pay attention, like, the next... God, man, it's everywhere. Jesus. Dude, if you really wanted to stop using filler words, I think it would take you a long time to break that habit. Holy crap. It only has like 120 words. Yeah, Tokipona I know only has around 120 or so. I know Aaron from Fingtam did some stuff with Tokipona. But I say like and a ton in English. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Because it's like... The... God, man. Ugh. I feel like it connects the ideas and thoughts better. I feel like it connects the sentences better than to just leave it blank. But anyway, I think... There's my dryer. I think that it makes the language flow better. I really think that it makes the language flow better. I think that it helps bridge sentences together. For example, I mean, that last sentence, I feel like it makes the language flow together better. Like, I think it just makes everything seem better versus like a weird, almost probably natural pause, but what I would consider an unnatural pause in my speech. Like the next... Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, everyone uses filler words. Marshak, I just mentioned you, man. What's up? Welcome. Everyone uses filler words, just natural. Exactly, most people do, but maybe not as much as a learner in the beginning. But I wouldn't worry about it. Like Spanish uses esto a lot. Yes, natural. The point is to get to where you make mistakes like a native. Absolutely. If I'm ever speaking Japanese and somebody's like, you say eto way too much, I'm going to be like, awesome. All right, cool. Sweet. We're there. Or maybe not. I don't know. Bzz. Okay. Filler words aren't bad. It only becomes a problem when you rely on them for every other word. Yeah, I could see that getting rough. Like if, like I, like every, like word. Yeah, that would be miserable. I'm telling you, man. I feel like I use it like a what is it, a conjunction or something. I don't know. I literally know no, like I don't understand a lot of like grammar terminology or whatever, but I use it to bridge two sentences together. Oh, it's really making me self-conscious, man. It's really weird. It's such a weird thing that I'd never noticed that I did. Oh man. LOL is my main filler word online. God, it's such a bad habit. Oh, I know, dude. I use that. If you don't know what to say, just throw an LOL in there. I'm really bad for typing the way that my brain works. Or not. That sounded really stupid. I'm really bad for if I'm typing something and then I can't really, like, if I don't know where I'm going from there, I'll put a comma in my speak. I'm gonna type right now. This might come to you guys a little bit early, but for example, if I was like, I really want to go to the store, it would be something like that. I'm gonna try to wait until I hear myself say it and then press enter. But there we go. That should be. So that's the type of, like, I do that all the time. Let's see. Honestly, even worse than filler words, I often just forget what I'm saying mid-sentence. Very annoying. I can relate to that. Any overuse of a word will be jarring and stick out in speech. Like and sort of are the ones I use the most. Yeah, I could see. I don't know if I use sort of a lot. Maybe I do. I don't know. Not saying like for 30 days challenge. Oh my god. That would be brutal for me. I would have to think about everything I say. And like I said, I can use it there because that's the way it's supposed to be used. From where I use it to bridge sentences together, that would be brutal for me. Like everything would have. I just used it again. There would be just unnatural pauses at the end of everything. It'd be really weird for me. I will still be heedfully, oracularly discerning, for I am astronomically fascinated with your opinions. I've withal relished your channel. I don't understand what any of this means, but I appreciate it. I'm not overly smart when it comes to vocabulary. I use haha more than LOL. So, oh yeah, okay. Honestly, I think I probably relate to that more. I do use some haha all the time. People send you crap and you're just like, haha. Like somebody will send me a big message about something and I'm just like, haha, I don't know what to say. Just kidding. I have the struggle of thinking faster than I can speak, and sometimes, honestly, I think that's a real I feel like that's a real thing. I feel like I feel like your brain can process so much more information faster than what you speak, and I honestly think that's what filler words are, is just your brain trying to catch up. Your I don't know what I'm trying to say now. I'm confusing myself. I say oof just about everything. And the one time a friend was telling me that she was diagnosed with some condition, and I said oof. That almost wasn't good. I always do just like I'll do 3 or 4 O's, just like ooh or oh or something like that. I do that a lot. See, this is the type of stuff like you're never taught in. This is not textbook teaching. This is just the way that English speakers use computers and stuff. How do I get motivation to learn Japanese? What is your... Why do you want to learn Japanese? Just out of curiosity. If somebody asked you why you wanted to learn Japanese, what would you say? I do, yeah. Oh, you should change that to ooh yeah, like Macho Man. And then you can just start sending that, or not that meme, any meme or gif of him just saying ooh yeah. I immediately think of the typical Californian Valley Girl dialect. Oh yeah, yeah. I used every sentence. Yeah, that's what I was when I was trying to think. When I was trying to think about, I was trying to think of what movie I was thinking. Like I kept thinking of a movie. I was like, what is that movie? I almost wanted to say Airheads, but that's a Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler movie. It was Clueless. You're absolutely right. How did Native Shark go? Yeah, I'm catching up on my. So I have 420 flashcards I have to do because I kind of fell out for a little bit because I had to cancel my subscription for a minute and stuff. But once I get caught back up on to those, I'm going to start streaming some lessons again. But yeah, I still I like it, and I'm getting caught up on those flashcards right now. Listen to some anime music or oh yeah, like the Kool-Aid Man. Yeah, that'll get you into the zone. I always wanted to learn a language and would like to live in Japan when I'm older. I mean, if you want to do that, that should be some motivation. I think it's hard. I wish that I had an answer for how to motivate. What motivates me to learn Japanese is that I don't understand it. I've always had a strong pull to Japanese. I've always loved Japanese. And so when I can't understand it, it's that makes me want to study more because I want to understand it. But I'm not sure. It's just you're going to have to try to find something and just do it, and you don't have to do a ton. I think the biggest problem people make is they get in and they'll do 20 hours in the first day or two and burn themselves out. Just start slow, try to learn a little bit here or there, and then just keep just kind of moving along and just slowly get into it. If you slowly do it and build a kind of a routine with it, you're going to like it a lot more. But it's hard for somebody to tell you what your motivation is because only you can answer that, unfortunately. Clueless. Yes, yeah, Clueless. My brain, that movie rules, by the way. I love that movie. My brain process speed good God, I can't read. My brain process speech rather slow, so I just use filler words so I don't make a complete fool out of myself. In real life, whenever I don't know what to say, I often say resort to indeed. That's anytime I see the word indeed, I think of in wrestling. There was a group in 1990, sometime between 98 and 99. I want to say there was a group called Kai and Tai. Let me see actually. That was Takamichi Noku, Kai and Tai wrestling. Kai and Tai pro wrestling. I want the WWF one. Here we go. This was debuted in March of 1998. Yeah. Anyway, it was a group of Japanese dudes: Takamichi Noku, Funaki, Mr. Yamaguchi. Anyway, they would have like these big long promos, and then it would just say "Indeed." I can never get the motivation I need. It's quite frustrating. Stick with it. I mean, it'll, hopefully you can find something. Because I get not having motivation is frustrating. You just got to find what works for you. Everybody has different motivations. What makes you, what makes you tick? What makes you keep going? I know it's hard. Okay. Just getting some messages there. It's quite frustrating. Language learning helped me fight video game addiction. Interesting. I don't play games as much as I used to. I played a lot when Tony Hawk was out, but then my PlayStation broke and I don't have money to buy another one. So I am gameless for a little while. 15 minutes a day of immersing at first, then 30, then 45, then 60. Now I can painlessly immerse how long I want to. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If that's what works for you, man, do it to it. I mean, that's a good pattern. Slowly build it up. For sure. Honestly, so true. Now I don't even play video games much. I just use that time to study. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a good thing to do. Thanks, you've helped me a lot. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, feel free to message me on whatever platform you use. I mean, I can try to help you work through some stuff. I don't mind. Just shoot me a message on either Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and we can try to figure something out. Maybe a show that you like or something just to help get you into it. But feel free. Play games in your target language and boom, best of both worlds. I'm now understanding full sentences in Animal Crossing. It makes me happy. I would like to do that. I need to do that, honestly. For sure. Who's your favorite American pro wrestler, retired or active? Oh my gosh. I'm going to try. This is a very loaded question, okay? Because I think there's a difference in who my favorite ever is and who the best is. But sometimes I also agree that they're the same person. So I have Ric Flair tattooed on my leg, and I do love Ric Flair. And Flair, it's hard for me not to say he's my favorite. However, I think if I'm really breaking it down and talking total package, and I don't mean Lex Luger because that's not my favorite by any means. I mean, if you're breaking down the little stuff too, I'm not talking just promos, and I'm not talking just the way that they present themselves in the ring and their persona. I'm talking like the little stuff. I think that the best is Bret Hart, because if you watch any of his wrestling matches, nothing that he does, like, he makes you feel like it's real. He makes you feel like it's a real fight. Everything that he does, if you kick him in the leg, he's going to be selling that in 20 minutes. He's going to make sure the fans remember that he was kicked in the leg and it hurts. Man, he's just so good. All right, I'm going to stop. I'll talk about wrestling all day. But probably Bret. And that's actually, I have a tattoo appointment in February, and I'm thinking about getting Bret Hart tattooed to go with my Ric Flair. Which is funny because they hate each other. What media do you like in your native language, then find the same in Japanese? Oh yeah, that's a huge point right there. And that's what helped me. That's a great example, because what made me motivated was I stopped trying to, everybody was like, oh, do HSK Easy News I freaking hate the news. I don't read the news in English. I get so tired of the negativity. I don't read that crap. So why am I trying to do it in Japanese? So I was like, what do I love in English? I love Mario Maker. I love Animal Crossing. I like people vlogging, traveling. Okay, I'll find some Japanese vloggers. I like, these different shows. Okay, let me see if I can find a Japanese equivalent. I love cooking shows. I love watching Food Network. So now I watch a cooking channel in Japanese. Just find what you enjoy. That is a great point. Immersing is a skill. I don't know if it's a skill. It's definitely a mindset, for sure. Like, it's definitely something you have to get into. I don't know if it's a skill per se. I think I see what you're saying though. Immersing. How do you execute that? It's used so often, but what do people actually mean? Like textbook, class, one-to-one, nonstop learning. Share your method. I think that it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to someone who has followed, Katsumoto or Matt vs. Japan. Immersion is pretty much strictly referring to watching native content made by natives for natives. I think that a lot of other people would argue that immersion is just any time that you're spending with the language, probably not like doing Duolingo or something, but anytime you're spending quality time with the language, looking up words from a book or something like that, I think people would classify. I don't really know what my thoughts on that are. I mean, any time you're actively spending with the language, even if you're just reading a pamphlet somebody handed you, I mean, that's technically immersion, in my opinion. Watching or reading anything, well, there you go. Yeah, watching or reading anything in your target language. That's probably the best way to look at it. How did you go about remembering readings when doing the N5 deck? Did you just power through? Yes. And what I found is that the longer those repetitions get, for example, in the ones like I had some yesterday that were like 5 months, and it's a little hazy for me to try to get because I still don't read a lot. So it was just powering through. Finishing RTK helped me a lot because it helped me put meaning to some of the stuff, or at least be like, oh, okay, what is, this character is self-wheel, whatever. But it was just powering through. It was super tough in some aspects, but it was just a lot of powering through. By forgetting the idea that kanji have readings. What? Oh, you're talking about the previous comment. You watch Animal Crossing and Mario Maker, but do you own a Switch? I do own a Switch. Yeah, I do. I don't count Anki as immersion. I don't either. Hey man, new fan here. What's up? What's up, Taylor? Taylor Ring. What is happening? Thank you. Welcome to the stream. We were just hanging out, chit-chatting a little bit. For the purpose of sentence mining, do you consider onomatopoeia words, or do you try to avoid adding cards for them? Yeah, so I don't sentence mine at all. I always have this idea that if I find something that will just stick out to me as a target one or a plus one or a whatever you want to call it sentence, that's cool. However, my vocabulary is still so limited that happens pretty much it hasn't. And that kind of shows you where my level of Japanese is. It really needs to go up. Once I get through the Tango N4 deck, which should have me at about 2,500 of the most common words, I think that I will be in a much better place to try and do that. I just don't do it right now because it was one of those things, just like I was mentioning earlier, don't create a negative atmosphere around your languages. That was happening when I was sentence mining. I was getting so frustrated. And then I would finally find one, right? It took me so long and I finally found it. And then the next day I would look at the sentence and I was like, okay, I actually don't know two words in this sentence because I kind of overestimated what I thought I knew. So I don't sentence mine. I wish, part of me wishes I would have started earlier and been a little more militant about it. But at the same time, man, I've mentioned this before, like, even though I'm following kind of an idea, I'm still not following an exact idea. I'm not following by the books or anything. I took a concept and I'm making it work for myself, and I just, I don't know. It's just I needed to relax on that. Are in-levels based on... Hold on, my comments are going... Are in-levels based on commonality? I thought it was based on what they thought was important. I'm not sure. But I know that I've learned a lot more common words, or a lot more useful words. There are some words that I don't think would be useful for me, but there's a lot of stuff that's useful. Because I know a lot of words right now, but a lot of them are words that I'm never going to use. Like New Zealand and Australia and party, things like that. So my word count is high. Or, well... It's not high, but it's higher than probably what it actually is because of a lot of words that I'm probably never going to use. Plus, a lot of it also is for the idea of grammar. I'm just getting to a level where I really feel comfortable with sensing language patterns. Would you say you were getting used to the language? Is what I want to know. How did you feel... how did it feel to make your first video in Japanese? It was a super cool surprise. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. to be honest, it was really, really cool. I don't know. I was just sitting in my car and I was like, I think I want to. I was like, I think I'm just gonna make a Japanese video. So here we go. And I just wanted to do it. And like I said, I know that, that's the thing about the language community. Mark, I know that you've seen it. You uploaded a Russian video and people were criticizing, and it's like people are always like, show what you can do, and then you show what you can do, and then they're like, yeah, but no, not like that. We don't like that. So I knew it was a gamble, but it paid off. Everybody was really, really cool about it, and it felt good doing, man. It felt good to get it out there. That way too, like, you guys know kind of that, you kind of know, I'm still studying, right? I'm still here. Like, this isn't all a facade. I'm still going through it. I'm not just here talking and not making any progress or anything. Because, again, I've mentioned that before. That's a huge fear of mine, is I don't want to be in, a year in the same position I am, because I valued content creation over... God, I have something in my throat. I didn't want to value, like, content creation over, like, study and stuff, so it was cool to do that. Alright, N4 has so much informal language. Are you saying so much in the style of formal language, or are you saying it's informal language? Was wondering if you could relate to something. I try to take the acquisition is greater than learning approach as much as I can, but sometimes grammar is just cool. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any problem with that. I think that's one thing that everybody should do. I mean, if it's something, take a concept, but if it's something you enjoy doing, do it. I just watched a video on Luke Truman's channel where he was interviewing a guy who runs a channel called Lingua. Hold on. I don't want to butcher it because you guys can go check this dude out. But he was learning Finnish, and the reason he started learning Finnish was because he loved learning about the crazy lingua passion. Yeah, this guy loves grammar, and he will study a bunch of grammar. I'm going to put the comment here. I don't know where this is going to pop up because I'm actually up the chat a little bit because my chat went crazy for a minute, but you can check this dude out. Lingua passion, and he loves grammar, and I think... if that's, plus the thing about grammar is too, Taylor, if you know how to use the words, you're going to. It's some language, especially Japanese, for example, if you don't exactly know how to use them, you can get into a little bit of a sticky situation. So yeah, I say go for it. I say if you love grammar, study grammar. That's why I got back into Lingo Deer, is because I wanted to learn how the grammar worked. I get the whole acquire thing, but I also enjoy taking a peek at that stuff sometimes too. I can understand what people talk about. How do you count words you know, and is that really important? Well, it's just a general estimate. Yeah. Is it really important? My opinions on that have changed over the course of time. At this point, I don't really think so. I think it's, I mean, realistically, down the road, yes, because the more words that you know, the more that you can say. But in the beginning, I mean... I don't know. I don't really know how I stand on that right now. I don't want to say because I really don't know how I feel about it. I'd honestly have to think about it for a little bit because I really don't know. Do you feel like it's necessary to do Anki after the 1000 kanji? I struggle with Anki. I have not. Well, I have not for kanji. I am using it for, like I said, the Tango N5 deck. I have the N4 deck. I'm just waiting on the N4 book to get here because there's been some stuff... there's just been some stuff that I've struggled with. And that's also why I'm going through Lingo Deer, waiting on that book to get here. Come on, party is a semi-useful word. It could be. If you aren't getting used to the language, then what's the point? That's a good question. How do you feel about grammar? I feel like there's a lot I still don't know. Yeah, oh no, me too. I definitely I'm there with you, and hopefully I can get there. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping at least through the N4 books that. I'm hoping that will give me a pretty decent, at least, grasp. Because I do think at some point you can start picking up the patterns. But I think if you don't know what to look for, I don't know. Sometimes I just need stuff spelled out for me, if that makes sense. And so what's weird is I never was a big fan of it. But the further I get into my Japanese journey, I've actually become a fan of looking up grammar stuff, and I don't spend a ton of time on it, but a little bit. Like I enjoy knowing the intricate, little what makes the language tick. Me too. I struggle with Anki and flashcards. I enjoy Anki and flashcards, honestly, and it's just but yeah, I enjoy Anki. It's not that big of a deal for me. I had a set of new Anki cards once, and they were act, action, actor. What? Oh yeah, that doesn't. I mean, I would conceivably, depending on the context, take like act or act because I enjoy like I've wrote movies and stuff in the past. Or I've wrote screenplays. I say movies like they've been produced, but I've wrote screenplays. So like the whole idea of like act one, because you write movies in 3 acts. So I probably maybe learn that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I would learn those. I guess it depends on what you want to talk about. It got easier for me when I only started using it for words I'd learn in immersion. I think it's better to not forgetting, not necessarily learning words. I think the big thing of SRS is just getting words in front of you that you, especially if you don't have time to immerse 4, 6, 8 hours a day, like some of the full-time Japanese learners. I think it's a way to get words in front of you that you possibly may not get on a regular basis because maybe you don't have enough time. People like to compare, judge, but progress. And if you don't claim to be fluent or something, of course you'll make mistakes. The best way to learn to improve is not care and practice. Bingo, absolutely. Absolutely. Anki, as good as it is, I feel like if you... Oh, wait, is this a continued sentence? No. Anki, as good as it is, I feel like you two... I struggle with doing it, but I know if I don't do it, I won't get good at vocab. I mean, it's Anki's helped me a lot for sure. If you go to vocab, just listen more and read. I guess the best thing is just not care too much when speaking. German B1 and Esperanto A1, by the way, for context. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. I think people want to hold off until they're perfect in order to speak, and I think that's. I'm not a big fan of that mentality for the purpose of you'll never think that you're good enough to speak. Obviously, some people are. Some people do get there. But I think if you're waiting until that perfect moment to where you know everything, I don't know if you'll ever speak. So, yeah, I think, And again, this is also where it's up. I mean, if you really feel like you want to wait, then wait. But if you're like me and you're 6 months into your Japanese and you want to speak, speak. Anki takes effort but speeds up progress. It isn't strictly necessary. Okay, I see. Yeah, no, for sure. No, I agree there. As I've mentioned before, my buddy Evan, I mean, he's learned Spanish, French, Korean, Japanese, Portuguese. Yeah, I think that's it right now. And he's not ever used an SRS system. That's 100% fact. And people didn't use SRS systems until, people have learned languages throughout the history of time, and SRS is only in the grand scheme of time, a new thing. How many words are you looking up? Oh man, my comments are going. Here we go. How many words are you looking up during active immersion, finding it a struggle to while going through N5? Yeah, I looked up a word the other day, and I've already forgot what it was. I bet as soon as I look up... I don't remember. What was the word? I bet if I heard it in context, I would know it. It was it was like... maybe... Yeah. Kanzen. Perfect or complete. As soon as I saw the word, I knew what it was. But so I still look them up. I don't look them up every 4 to 5 minutes. Sometimes I just like to sit back and just enjoy the immersion. Honestly, I just like to watch the videos, and I'm just kind of letting stuff come to me. So it's working right now. I don't know. Long term, I may need to get a little more serious about that, but I'm just enjoying the way that I'm going through it. I think it'd be an interesting idea to add pop-up grammar lessons you suspend, like the informational cards in RTK, The first time a grammar structure occurs in a Tango deck. Yeah, that would be cool. Why not just add grammar explanations to sentence cards that use that grammar? I see the argument for, but I see the argument against too. Because obviously for it's there, but the argument against would be it's always there and it's just taking up extra room. And if your mind wanders to it, I guess you definitely could just not look at it. I think that would work too. But they take what Matt says about output the completely wrong way. Even Matt says early output occasionally is good, just it shouldn't overpower input. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm not sure right off, actually. I don't remember. I haven't read past like the quick start guide. I don't know if that was in the quick start guide or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think as long as you're following the general idea of language acquisition, if you decide to output, like I get the argument for outputting early is that it can affect the way that your accent is. But if you don't overly care about accent, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I would not trust me. Who am I? What do I speak? But just in terms of what I'm thinking is that, when I hear someone speak to me who speaks a foreign language in America, it doesn't bother me. I think it's really cool. And that accent tells me a story of them trying to do something. Cat's got pretty good and didn't speak the whole time. Didn't he speak the whole time? I actually don't know, to be honest with you. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I really don't know. Just wanted to let you know you're still doing a great job. Keep up the consistency. It'll come. I'm at 90% comprehension for most slice of life, but know I got a long way to go. Keep it up. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words, and that's awesome about your stuff, man. And hopefully at some point I will be there. I feel like it's a long ways away, but we are going to keep on grinding. My vocab is so low, I feel like I couldn't express stuff that I like to talk about. I think if you sit down and think about it, I think you know a lot more than you probably think that you do. When I was making out a plan for what I wanted to talk to my teacher with, I was thinking like, okay, how about for this first lesson, we talk about studying Japanese. We'll just talk about it, right? If I'm telling people I'm studying Japanese, what am I going to say? And she's like, well, send me a list of vocabulary words. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we would be talking about like studying, using books and notebooks and writing stuff and watching videos. And I was like, oh yeah, well, I can say literally all of that. And then I started thinking and I was like, okay, maybe I know a lot more. Like I think you know a lot more than you think you do. It's just hard to think about what you know. It was in the video, is early output a sin? Ah, okay. Gotcha. I think delaying output until a bit before or a bit after monolingual transition is fine. You're saying I'm fat? I appreciate that, dude. I don't think anybody would argue with you there. And I've been told that literally my whole life, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Thank you for your input there. I think delaying output until a bit before or a bit after monolingual transition is fine, but it probably doesn't matter much either way. Yeah, I could see, yeah, for sure. I think so too. Having a poor accent isn't the only thing you have to worry about when outputting early. You'll end up making mistakes in syntax as well as pronunciation. Also pitch. Yeah, I can see both of those being an issue because you can get a little bit ahead of yourself. For sure. And then the blocked messages from old Jethro Jackson was trying to inform me that I'm fat because anybody who's fat clearly would not know that they are overweight. But if you think that I'm fat now, you should look at me when I was about 60 pounds heavier not too long ago. So I never understood that. Like, of all the insults that you can throw at people who are overweight, you're just going to be like, you're fat. Who has not heard that? Accent is only a problem if you're trying to be perfect. My mother still has a thick accent. My fiance and many other foreigners in America. But they're all completely understandable. Yeah, where are they from and stuff? Because I do think that there is something to be said. I do think accents can be a little bit harder to overcome the more different the language is, perhaps. But yeah, no, if they're understandable, that's to me that's all that matters. If I'm understandable, I mean, again, I want to be decently understandable. Like, I don't want it to be like incredibly butchered, but yeah. But yeah, I think so. Someone's weight needs to be pointed out. Just trying to make someone feel bad about something that. Oh yeah, that's people. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've literally been told that my entire life. Like, somebody saying that I'm fat. He's the comment. I can't remember what it was exactly because I blocked it, but it was just like, you look fat. Okay. That's definitely something I've heard my entire life. It's gonna take way more than that to offend me in the fat person range, which also is not going to offend me because I've literally been overweight my entire life, so not overly concerned about it. For me, it matters how the person I'm talking to is reacting. If they look too stoic or bothered, I get nervous and forget everything I know, even when I'm normally confident in the language. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a huge point too. Depending on how, like, who you're talking to, their body language and stuff can definitely make you do that. Accents are cute. In my opinion, I think early output occasionally is fine. I think it's fine for me while okay, my comments need to chill out. In my opinion, I think early output occasionally is fine for me while I don't actually talk or try to think in Japanese every once in a while, and it helps organize my Japanese in my head. See, that's when I speak, that's what I do it for, right? I do it for the sole purpose of just trying to get better. Like, it helps me remember things. When I say things, it embeds it in my thoughts a little bit better. So when I speak, a lot of that is actually to try and help reinforce that vocabulary. My mom is from the Philippines, and the lady is from Russia. Okay. She's attending master's class in English. It's a total non-issue that she has an accent. Yeah, as long as they're understandable. And as long as, especially if they're in class and they can understand, I don't really see what it matters. Accent only matters if native speakers have trouble understanding you. If people have to try to understand you, you should probably work on it with shadowing or something. I've been called fat always. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's such a dumb, like, and does that I mean, realistically, if it wasn't for someone, like, they would just constantly keep posting that, I would just let them stay in here because I don't really care. But I also know that it would just be 40 comments just back to back to back to back to back, and I would much rather talk to the people who watch my channel versus trolls on the internet. Are there any foreign accents that you are particularly attracted to? Okay, this is really random, and this isn't really a foreign accent. I really like the British accent. That's a random thing. But I think obviously a Japanese person speaking English, I think, is really well. But honestly, I think one of my favorite is probably Russians speaking English. I really like a Russian accent. I don't know. I really like a Russian accent. What about you? Just out of curiosity. I had a Polish friend who was hard to understand, but I think his English was mostly learned from written material, which is probably why it was like that. Yeah. English. I know a lot of people talk about other languages where written form is different than Oh my gosh, man. Written form is different than spoken. Why can I not think of the word spoken? Anyway, and so I know that can cause a lot of issues. If I'm not mistaken, I think Andy, Oregon Polyglot. What is his thing now? Andy, Andy Roberts. Oregon Polyglot. I couldn't remember. I thought he had changed the name. YouTube PNW Lingophile. Okay. But I think he had. I could be wrong about this, but I think he at one point made mention of learning textbook Japanese, and so it was hard for him to understand Japanese because of how different like textbook Japanese is to versus spoken Japanese. Okay, yeah. Oh, and then I know that so I watched one of the Lingua that channel that I shared, Lingua. What the heck was that friggin' this? I'm really bad at this. Passion Lingua. Yeah, Lingua Passion. That guy, he made a video about Finnish, talking about how written language is almost it's very different from spoken Finnish, and like they'll even use different words where they would naturally use something. So any Russian villains in movies sound really nice. Yeah, no, that's for sure. It may come as a surprise to you, but being Australian, I love many different American accents. It sounds cool to me. I try to imitate the American accent when I speak, and my friends hate it. Which accent in particular? See, I'm actually my accent. I don't know what my accent is exactly, because I'm actually from technically the southern United States, but I don't have the twang that most people in my area do. Like, I definitely don't sound like I'm from the north. Like, I don't sound like I don't know where I sound like I'm from. I guess maybe people who were from the north or maybe out west or something would think I sounded southern, but I don't sound anything like most of the people in my area. Because they're like, I can't even explain it, man. It's really weird. I record myself reading something in my target language. That's the best way for me to check my accent and pronunciation. That's a really good idea, actually. Really, really good idea. I would say you have a pretty standard accent like myself. Yeah, I didn't pick up... I'm trying to think. You didn't have any kind of like very particular where I could peg where you were from. I have a northeastern accent, but very clear and standard. Yeah, you definitely didn't have... I can't remember where were you from? I know where you live now. That sounded real. I didn't mean that. I know that you're not in the United States now, but I can't remember where you said that you... I feel like you told me, but I don't remember. But yeah, you don't sound like you're from like Manhattan or anything. Manhattan. However you pronounce it. I know that I've always heard that Ohio is the kind of the most neutral accent in the United States. I don't know if that's true, but I've literally read things about how people say that Ohio has the most neutral accent. Because like when I hear like Aaron speak, for example, from Fingtam languages, as soon as he spoke, I was like, this dude's from Wisconsin. And there's other people, you know. It's really weird. I suppose the western states appeal to me most, but I'm also fond of the southern twang. Even up north, like Montana, New York, also sounds dope. Yeah, I don't do the twang, man. This is not me. And see, I don't like country music or anything, and I feel bad. Like my cousin Sarah is she writes music. She wrote a song for Alan Jackson, and she's wrote a couple of songs that have been on the radio, and I always feel bad because I feel like I'm not supporting her, but I just don't like country music. And then her fiance is a dude that is like a somewhat famous country music singer, and from where I don't follow country music, I had no idea, and so I feel like I'm not supporting them. It's really weird. I didn't know this guy. This guy is a dude I've sat in a living room with and had a conversation with. Like, I've literally just talked to this guy, and I had no clue that he was this guy. And then his song, he had made a post on Facebook about having a top 10 song, and I was like, oh, cool, what is it? And I was like, oh, crap, I've heard this song a million times. I had no clue that you were, any form of famous type situation, or, like a made it dude. I'm a native English speaker, and I get constantly asked what my native language is by other native English speakers. I think Language Come Up makes a video about this. Yeah, I know Language Come. Mark did make a video about that. Upstate Central New York. Watkins, that was the last thing I know where you live. I know where you live. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's from like Central New York. You don't have that well, I mean, like the way that every New Yorker sound, like that Italian New Yorker from every TV. Like, you're not Tony Danza or anything. It's interesting because your wife has a twang associated with the South, but you don't. On your other channel, you will say okay a bit of a different way. Will I? Do I say okay? Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing that joke. I don't know where I'm at. I have a Midwestern accent until I get around people from my hometown. Then it's Southern. I know a lot of people like that. I generally sound the same pretty much everywhere I go, but I definitely know people. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and now they tell me I have an accent. Yeah, I remember you making that video. I've heard it's Pacific Northwest is the most neutral. Washington or Oregon. I'm trying to think. I don't know what I would associate with Washington or Oregon. Yeah, that might be pretty accurate. You sound like you're more from Miami or California. Definitely not Californian. I don't have that surfer bro. I don't know. I guess it depends on what it is. Sometimes I kind of have that. Apparently that's an accent. Oh, you're talking about Language Come Up. Okay. Gotcha. That's why I was confused. I was like, I guess maybe, but okay. I don't think so. The only American accents that are hard for me to understand are Boston and Matthew McConaughey. All right, I'm screen capping that comment because that's my favorite comment that I've probably ever seen in my life. All right. I'm going to save that because that is hilarious. Accent comment. All right, saving that. All right. Yeah. So Boston, you're not alone. I mean, there are legitimately some Americans that it's not that. I mean, they understand what they're saying, but there's some Boston stuff that's a little tough to understand, or can be. I'm from northwestern Ohio, Warren Youngstown area. I've studied in Akron, and they have some vowel shifts that for me are non-standard. Not on this channel, but with your family. Yeah, I'm trying to think. You're talking about the vlog channel that I have. Maybe something does slip out every now and then. I don't know. Changing your accent depends on who you are talking to. It's supernatural. Same with changing dialects. Yeah. See, I don't feel like I changed that much, but maybe I do. It confuses me when people say most normal accent. Everyone speaks with an accent, but no one believes they have one. Yeah. I can't place your accent. All I know is that it reminds me of Boogie. So, fun fact, Boogie is originally from an area called St. Paul, Virginia, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live. He lives in Arkansas now, but yeah, I'm actually from the same region of Virginia that he's from. Which is not, like, I'm from like the southern part of Virginia. Like, this part of Virginia, like, would be like in Alabama if it could. Like, it's super southern, especially like in terms of accent and stuff like that. And yeah, like, I'm not towards like DC or anything like that. I'm on the far opposite side, and but yeah, I'm from that same general area. but almost everybody around me, and I'm not saying in no way, shape, or form I'm meaning this negative. It's just weird that I come from this area and like I never got into hunting and fishing and riding 4-wheelers and going out on giant mud hills and literally all like I never got into like dipping snuff and drinking lots of light beers or what. Like it's just never been my thing, but that's where I'm from. I have nothing against that. I'm just saying it's weird that I can come from areas like that and not like it didn't impact me. I think that the general accent thing is like newscaster dialect. Maybe so. Poured myself some cereal, didn't have any milk, and now I'm eating dry Rice Krispies. Oh, that sounds alright still. 1 bowl of Rice Krispies would probably be more carbs than I eat in about 2 or 3 days. The Boston accent is Boston. Oh my god. The Boston accent is in Boston is nothing like Boston accent in TV shows or movies, to be fair. I believe that. I feel like they probably overplay that for the sake of, TV or really being like, look, we're from Boston. Newscaster accents are standard accents. That's the normal accent, whatever that means, because they are all normal. Yes, newscasters are normal. That's hilarious. At least in English, it isn't always the case depending on the language. Oh, yeah. Virginia, you do kind of sound like my aunt from Virginia. What part of Virginia? I'd like to hear a newscaster with a Louisiana accent. Spice it up. That would be awesome. I would listen to that. I'm from Maine, but I don't have any Mainer accent, as far as I can tell. What is the Maine accent? How do people from Maine sound? I'm trying to think. I mean, the only thing I can think of, obviously, is Stephen King, but I can't even think about what... Like, I can't even think about what Stephen King sounds like. I'm from Maine. Okay, I read that. People just think of media accents as normal, but obviously that's all arbitrary. Normal accent, the closest American accent. Yeah. I want a moonshiner to be a newscaster. Even native speakers would need subtitles. Richmond. Oh, okay. Richmond's like 3.5, 4 hours from me. Let me see. See how far Richmond is. Richmond, Virginia. Directions. Oh, I'm sorry. Richmond is 4.5 hours away from me. Thought it was closer. It's not. It is not. Man, is Richmond that far away? I always thought Richmond was more so towards the center of Virginia. I mean, not like I knew it wasn't the center, but I didn't realize it was that far towards the coast. Crazy. Crazy. 4.5 hours. That is weird. I could be in, like, Pittsburgh faster than I can be in Richmond. Charlotte, North Carolina is like almost 3 hours. I can be in Charlotte, North Carolina quicker than I can be in Richmond. New Jersey has the most unique accent. I think I could see what you're saying. I like the New Jersey accent. My favorite filmmaker is from New Jersey. Old Kevin Smith. The main accent is instead of Bar Harbor, it's Harba. Instead of lobster, it's lobster. Oh, okay. Basically do that forever and ever. I gotcha. That's I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I guess that's kind of like almost like a just like a northeastern like like New England style accent. Ever hear the Rhode Island accent? Yeah. That one's the Rhode Island. It's weird too, because it's almost like, I guess maybe it's a mixture of like the Boston accent mixed with something. I know what you're talking about. That's definitely weird. And Lois, yeah, old what's her name? Freaking I can't think of her name. The girl that plays her. That's her voice. Oh my god. Oh man. Man, that blows my mind that Roanoke's that far. I mean, Richmond's that far away. Interesting. I grew up in Rhode Island, and most people can't perceive me as having an accent. I think it depends. Newport is more defined than other parts. I was going to say that, but Boston, like, quite interesting. I've always wanted to visit Rhode Island, just because, like, it's such a small area. How long would it take me to get to Rhode Island? Rhode Island. Probably forever. My guess is, alright, I'm going to guess, let's see, okay, it takes me 10 hours to get to New York City, and it is past that, so let's see. 11 and a half hours. United States is huge, it's weird. Where's your glass of Coke? It's right here. Almost finished with the... Not all Rhode Islanders have one. My brother's long-term girlfriend doesn't really, but her mom does. You just hit 100 reviews in a day for the first time. Just hit 100 reviews for the first time in a day since 5 months ago. That sounds brutal. From where I'm waiting on my N4 deck to get here. I mean, my N4 my N4 book. Good Lord, I couldn't think of the word. I haven't been adding new cards. I have 29 cards due today, and that's it. I'm gonna do those here in just a little bit. Oh man. Yeah, 100 reviews. If I had to keep that up on a steady basis, I would probably not be overly happy. Used to do 5 or maybe 10 a day. Yeah, I think when I get to, I think when that N4 book gets here and I can kind of start burning through just some of the examples, or, because the problem I have with it is, like, the card will be there, but I don't understand why. And, like, if I could just have a brief explanation of this word is used here to mean this grammar pattern, then I think I would be in a lot better situation. But I don't want to just assume, and so I just I try to like, I really need that thing. But once that comes through and I can read through some of that book, I'm gonna try to go through. I mean, I'm definitely gonna do at least 10, but I would like to do I mean, honestly, maybe even 15 a day. We'll see. It's actually easier to remember. Okay, I just added my 200th card in my sentence deck. Milestones, baby. That's awesome. Used to take forever on reviews. Yeah, Anki reviews can be brutal. I know the first time when I was going through doing like 30 RTK cards a day, it was the reviews were so brutal. Oh man, they were so brutal. For some reason I had something. I was looking at, I got a thing on my phone. I'm not like an overly huge baseball fan, but I like the Braves. I have a sister that lives near Atlanta, so I've always followed the Braves growing up, and they got murdered tonight. I want to stop doing Anki, but it's so beneficial I can't let myself. Yeah, I know what you mean. There are some days where I'm like, But then I think about it, man, and I'm like, man, I've done Anki for pretty much every day for 6 months. I guess I'm just going to stick with it because it's... Like, there are things I would rather do. And I think once I get to a certain point, I probably will kind of maybe slack off. But right now, man, I mean, it's still teaching me, and it's getting me repetitions, and it's continuing to have words shown to me that maybe I wouldn't understand. Maybe they wouldn't come up as much. I don't really know, but I feel like it's done a pretty good job at what it's supposed to do. And I like it. It's just a weird little part of my day that I enjoy. All right, it is 10:30. I'm gonna start wrapping up here in just a little bit. Anybody have any final questions, thoughts, say about anything about accents, anything about anything that you want to talk about? Doesn't have to be language related, but obviously this is a language channel, so it can be. But anything at all, let me know, and we will talk about it. And then I'm going to jump off here. That way I can, finish my study. I've been reading as well. I started reading randomly. Somebody answered when I complained about italki on Twitter. Somebody just tweeted and said they made a support about it, or made a thing about it. What was I saying? Sorry, I got sidetracked by that. I was trying to look for... I feel like I was doing something. Was I doing something? Looking up something? I don't remember. The Anki Vacation add-on is great when you need a sick day. Such great tools Yoga is making. Yeah, I've never used that, but I know what you're talking about. Definitely seems some pretty cool stuff. And I'm anxious to check. I'm gonna go after this. Actually, I'm gonna go watch the video about it because I'm all for anything that can, make learning Japanese easier. Just a comment. I really liked your speaking video. I think you're gonna succeed because you have the guts to put yourself out there. That's gonna get you to your goal. Hopefully so. I appreciate that. I was definitely expecting more negativity around it, but everybody's been really, really cool. Maybe that's why I got the dude consistently calling me fat this evening. It's payback for everybody being so nice. But thank you so much. The Migaku browser add-on is great once you get to mining too. Yeah, I'm anxious to see that. That sounds really, really cool. About accents, can you differentiate Japanese accents? No. Like from Ottawa or Tokyo. I don't know if they are that much different. Ottawa? What is Ottawa, Japan? But no, I can't differentiate Japanese. Like if you're asking if I can determine if someone was from Tokyo or Sapporo or Osaka or something like that, or Nagoya. No, I could not do that. The Migaku add-on is great. Helps jog my memory just knowing I've seen the word. This sounds amazing. Do you have to be a Patreon to get that? I mean, I'm not opposed to supporting yoga on Patreon. I'm just saying, like, is there a way that I can check that out, or is that a Patreon thing right now? Like, is it still in beta? The most motivational person to me in terms of language learning is the girl who started her Twitch stream in English, even though she didn't know English. Hey, you got to put yourself out there. That's for sure. Well, and the way that I look at it too, so if you put yourself out there and someone's negative, and this can go for anything, any facet of life, right? Do not take criticism from people that you would not take advice from. And that has helped me so much. I'm significantly underweight and I'm struggling to put on the kilograms. If someone called me fat, I'd take it as a compliment. Well, yeah, it's like I said, like calling somebody fat is really dumb because fat people have heard it their whole life. It's not gonna insult. Like, yeah, it's really weird. I think so. $5. Okay, cool. Currently, yeah. Okay, still in beta. I'm not opposed to checking it out. It sounds really incredible. I have a video on it if you want to see how it works. Yes, I do. Can you not view people's channels anymore on here? What? William Sellers, can you like post a link to your video? I thought that if you click this button on the side, it would say like view user's channel or something, but I don't have that. You used to be able to do that, but I cannot. I think, yep, $5. Trade you. My diet is mostly salad. I'm telling you, man, I do, if you just want a Discord chat, then $1. Okay. I lost a ton of weight by just doing, I'm not a doctor, and obviously different things work for different people, but I lost a whole bunch of weight doing keto. Just, watching my, not that I think carbs are bad, but the type of carbs I was eating probably was not good because it was like cookies and crap. So I need to, yeah, I'm gonna check that. I want to check that out because that honestly sounds like basically a web browser version of Link, honestly. Hey, some people, it's just your metabolism, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so many people are different. That's why I hate the diet and or fitness industry, because they try to sell you a one size fits all, and that's not what happens at all. Like, people's body break down things differently. Fruit is yeah, I could live on fruit, man. Eat apples and grapes and bananas and crap like that all day, man. I'd probably have my sugar intake would be, I know it's natural sugar, but it would still be way too high. I do keto when my weights gets too up there. It gives me amazing clarity and the pounds just come off like crazy. It helps me focus and immerse more too. Absolutely. Yeah, oh yeah, the mental clarity has been so crucial for me. No, absolutely. That's 100% in my experience as well. I don't think I could ever do keto. I'm probably like 50% bread by now. I didn't think I could either. And then I did it in February, and I went from 236 to 220 in about 3.5 weeks. And I was like, alrighty, I think I can give. Well, see, and I have bread that I can eat too. You just get higher fiber bread to where it cancels out some of the carbs. You can still eat your bread, just not as much. Very, very little actually, but you can still eat it. I believe Yoga said eventually it would be standalone and include an SRS. That's really dope. That sounds really cool. Food makes me fruit. I thought you said food makes me hungrier. Fruit makes me hungrier. So that's the thing that's the one big thing I've noticed is with a lower carb intake, I don't really ever crave food or have hunger pain. Like, I eat because I know I need to, but I don't really get like hungry like that. Let's see. The juice, fruit. Food goes right through. Fruit goes right through me. LLN is sort of like Link 2. Yeah. I use that. Learn languages Netflix, since words have various levels. How they are. Shame the Japanese. Dude, yeah, Japanese parsing is the bane of my existence. Just don't juice fruits and your sugar isn't going to skyrocket. Are you watching Japanese TV series? Right now, I'm mainly... Sorry, I was getting bombarded with a bunch of emoji comments. What I'm watching right now is YouTube. I'm not watching anything on Netflix right now. It's something I need to, but I just haven't. Has anyone made any Anki cards with the Learn Language Netflix extension? I feel like just my use with it with Japanese, I feel like if I feel like if you could do it with a language that isn't parsed so terribly, like Japanese is, I feel like it would be worth your time. But I also don't. I also don't know. Wait, what did you post your? Did you post your Migaku link? I never saw it. If you did. Okay, so it said it was awful. That is not good. Yeah, that's the. What is parsing? Picking up like basically correctly. It's hard to parse where the words are because of Japanese running together. Basically meaning where the words start and stop. It's still not showing. That's weird because usually. Let me see. Okay, we're still loading here. Yeah, the link is not coming through. Links, I don't know why it's not. I don't have like any kind of restrictions on stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's filtered out. I have live chat, and it shouldn't be filtering anything. Like, it filters stuff that I think is spam, but it usually pops up and asks if I want to hide it or not. Nothing's popping up. That's really weird. There's got to be something going on there. Let me see. Let me just see what happens. Let me just YouTube your channel. See if I can find it, and then I'll see if I can post it. William Sellers. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. There's old William Sellers. Boom. There we go. And here we go. Immersed with Migaku. There we go. All right. Here we go, guys. Boom. Oh, you sent it on Twitter. Okay. All right, let's see. We need, no, we could do that. Off a waste of time. What is parsing? There you go. Maybe it's sort of audio descriptions is a cool feature. Are you trying this on Learn Languages with Netflix? I don't know. What's the title? And he can search on YouTube. Okay, got that. If it's what I'm thinking of, send it on Twitter. Yeah, okay, there we go. I posted the link. Yoga's video makes it look flawless compared to William's video. I would be more interested to see someone legitimately use it versus the person who made it, and that's just because of sometimes if you make something, it's hard to see. I'm not saying there's flaws in it, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always going to be good. Like, I would be more interested. I would always want to read a third-party review of something. I tried the Netflix add-on, but it made me hate the media watching experience. I just went back to separating my reading and TV watching. My comprehension is still improving over time. Yeah. I like the idea of Learn Languages with Netflix. I just think that with Japanese, again, from where it doesn't know how to parse the words, like sometimes it'll split up a verb and it'll be like tabe is one word and then teiru is a whole separate word, and like even though or it'll be like tabetei and then ru will be a separate word, and it's ugh. That's bad. Figured I'd share it. Just made it. Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't mind people sharing stuff here, especially people that, generally do stuff. I see. I'm looking. I have TubeBuddy on my thing, and you should tag your video, man. That can make more people see it. Granted, 392 people have already seen it, but if you put tags in there, dude, it'll make a lot more. It'll show up a lot. It'll make it show up a lot more. Just made for fun. Oh, just made for fun. Perhaps I should show how it is on Windows. Williams uses Linux, I believe. Does it look that much better? I just throw it into Gshow instead of looking at LLN. Yeah, I usually keep Gshow up. Do you use Linux? I don't know. I'm gonna watch this video, but cool. Yeah, I'm anxious to see that, actually. YouTube said it didn't matter. Oh, it definitely can play a role. It definitely can play a role. You do have a high-res thumbnail, though, so that's good. Yeah, you should install TubeBuddy. It gives you... I can't show you pictures, but... it'll give you like little breakdowns on the side of what you like. Your SEO score rating is 5, and then like you want that ideally to be 100, and that's for like your tags, and then they want your title and your description to have like basically the same things, and then also in your tags, like it just helps. I don't know. It's hard to say if it works or not, but I mean, it's worked well for me, or at least I assume that's what's worked well for me. I don't really know. Doesn't look better, but I can send to Anki. All right. Cool. It is 10:46, so I'm probably going to head out. Thanks everybody for jumping in. William, I'm gonna watch this video and see what Migaku is all about. I'm gonna do some Japanese flashcards here in just a few, and try to get a little sleep so I can wake up and pretty much do it all again tomorrow. So thanks everybody for joining. I know it was spur of the moment, took a little bit of time. I do want to start getting some more guests on here for kind of the show. It's just, again, I've been a little bit tied up with some stuff, but I think even if I could come in a couple times a week like this and just chat with you all, I think that would be really, really cool. So always get some useful information and stuff. So, but yeah, absolutely. And William, if you want any, I mean, if you know, I can help you out with some YouTube stuff. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on it, but I feel like I've done a somewhat decent job of trying to build something. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, thanks everybody for watching. And I'm trying to think. I'll do another live stream soon, but hopefully I can have a guest on soon, and that way we can all chat. And then as we get back to normal, I can make some better time and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll ramble on thanking you guys for the next 20 minutes. So I'm going to end that here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all very, very soon.